What's going on, guys? It has been about 2 weeks since I made any progress on this 600cc two-stroke dirt bike build. This is a 2021 CRF 450 chassis with the new Panthera PM09 600cc two-stroke engine. The plan of attack is to get this thing on dirt briefly to test it and make sure everything works, and then convert it to a snow bike for hopefully a deep Montana winter. Now, the last couple weeks have been super fun, but super busy. I went down to Idaho with Monty. I did a riding interview with Cody Webb for a new series I started called Brop O'Clock. If you haven't seen that yet, I would recommend you check it out. Really thrilled with the outcome of that video. I also bought a trailer that I've been setting up for snowmobile season. I've been enjoying my last couple opportunities to ride here in Montana before the snow flies. And I've been getting ready for the CR500 giveaway. The live stream is tomorrow, but will have already passed by the time you're seeing this video. So stay tuned at the end of the video to find out who won the CR500. All this said, I leave for a trip to Spain with my girlfriend Nicole in 8 days. The goal is to have this bike up, running, and tested on dirt before that. Can I do it? I don't know, but I should probably shut up and get to work. To start off today's episode, I needed to replace these two provided motor mount bolts that were too short, as well as shift the engine slightly since the power valve cover was contacting the frame. I found a pair of replacement motor mount bolts on a website called bellmetric.com that should do the job perfectly. As for shifting the engine, I figured if I loosened all of the bolts holding the engine in place, I should be able to shift it just enough to gain clearance. Once I had everything loosened, I had no luck getting the engine to move, so I figured maybe gravity would help. I flipped the entire bike upside down, hoping it would help, still to no avail. I ended up fully removing every engine bolt, including the swing arm, which was a lot of steps backwards.
So I've got this thing almost back to ground zero, every motor bolt removed.
Trying to find a way to get to this bolt right here that was contacting the frame, and it appears that it might just be a little loose, and I just gotta figure out how to tighten that thing.
From here, I continued removing additional parts from the bike in order to rotate the engine in the frame far enough to access this bolt, which was no easy task. If you watched the engine install back in March, it is a tight fit. I finally gained access and was able to snug up that bolt as well as check the others, hoping this would provide the clearance I needed. I put it all back together, and what do you know, we have clearance. 1/4 millimeter to be exact. A little tight, but that should do. Next up, this throttle needed additional attention, or rather, I thought it could be improved. I'm running the CRF 450 throttle cables and housing, and they are slightly short, requiring the housing to be turned upside down to allow the bars to turn fully. I figured KTM cables would be just a little longer due to the throttle body location on a KTM. Since my KTM 300 has a bulletproof design's housing, I had the OEM one lying around. I spent a significant amount of time trying to make these KTM cables work, only to discover that while the overall length is longer, the excess cable length within the housing was too short. The Panthera throttle body requires more cable length than a KTM throttle body, and there wasn't enough adjustment to make them work. So another couple hours and a big mess later, I ended up right back where I started, with an upside down Honda throttle housing. This was one of those days where I felt like I spent an entire day for what felt like zero progress, but I needed to remind myself that fixing those motor mount bolts and getting clearance from the frame was indeed progress. But today's a new day, so we're going to start it off with something that at least feels like progress. It was time to get the front fender installed, which was supplied by mxplastics.com along with the rest of the plastics for this build. Along with that, I wanted to install the rear fender, which I knew would be important as I determined where to put the entire electrical system for this bike. From here, a long day of customization began, where I used scrap metal to come up with solutions for how and where to mount a whole lot of electrical components. All right, guys, here's an end of day update because I gotta get ready for the CR500 giveaway live stream today. The shop is about the messiest it's ever been, completely ridiculous, can't find anything, don't know how this happened, but there's actually been very positive progress on mounting the electrical system. Except Panthera just messaged me and said this battery won't even work. Which I guess I'll deal with later and is not mentioned in any documentation, but I bet I could fit an AG801 in that battery box, which has very high cranking power. That's from anti-gravity. So we'll see, I'll figure that out. But between custom brackets there, and there, the battery box is mounted. The regulator needs some more actual mounting, but I think has a location. And I managed to make a nifty little bracket for the starter relay as well. So I need to figure out where this goes, but all of this space is available.
And I gotta figure out how I get from this damn starter all the way on the bottom of the engine
to this relay right here.
But what I really need to do first is clean all this up before it overwhelms me. Ah, that's better.
Let's go find out who's taking the CR500 home, and we'll get back to this project tomorrow.
And the CR500 is going to... The order number is 5724. This bike's going to Tennessee.
All right, let's give him a call.
The dog is very upset.
Hello?
Hi, is this Justice?
It is, yeah.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing alright, who's this?
This is Kincaid Pavich.
Oh.
Did you enter to win a 1988 Honda CR500?
You're me.
I am not. You are on live stream right now. You were just drawn as the winner.
No. Seriously?
Seriously.
I'm just walking around my house. So I have my wife here in the living room. One second.
No worries.
I entered in to win, like, one of the best dirt bikes just ever. That's what this is. I'll be on the board.
What do you think you'll do with this? You gonna rip it? Is it a showpiece? What's the plan with the 500?
Rip it as a showpiece. Like, it comes out, let's say, once every 3 months.
All right.
To meet and greet.
Sweet.
Just to show it off.
Congratulations, I'm stoked for you. Huge congratulations to Justice for winning that CR500. I'm ironing out the details with moto shippers to actually get him that bike. And then I'm hoping to plan a trip next year where I actually go out to Tennessee and meet and ride with Justice. So once again, major congrats. Thanks to everyone who followed along with that project. Thanks to everyone who entered. And now let's get back to the Panthera 600. So you could probably tell from earlier in the video, my fabrication skills are minimal, if you could even call that fab. But I realized a big part of that was just the need for more tools. You can only do so much metalwork with a drill and a hacksaw. I ponied up and purchased a handful of new tools that will be helpful with metalworking, and they certainly made this project a lot easier. You will see me bust out my DP200 from Yes Welder in a minute here, which has been an incredible entry-level welder and made this task pretty easy. You can save 10% on Yes Welder with the code Kincaid Pavich. And with that, I hope you guys enjoy watching this process of what is really my first custom fabrication. That's a good penetrating weld right there. That is a snug fit. With that box all fabbed up, I was actually pretty proud of myself. It certainly isn't a showpiece, but it fits nicely and it will get the job done. I still need to paint it, of course, as it's raw steel and will rust, but I continued progress by routing the starter wire, and then I robbed the AG801 from my Yamaha. Friendly reminder to clean out your battery area on these bikes if you're running an IMS tank. I thought the AG801 battery would fit the Honda battery box, but it did not. The box had already been modified, and my mounts were built specifically for this box, so I did some further customization. I thought this was pretty clever for how I mounted the rectifier, as I drilled into the bottom battery box cover, which is just plastic, and mounted it to that using a spacer along with a 3M picture hanging strip. And between those two things and pressure from the seat, I think it will work. And holy cow, all of the electrical had a home. This was such a daunting task, and when I put my mind to it, I had what I think is a viable solution just a couple days later. I mounted the battery cables along with the ground straps to the frame, and still managed to use the original Honda battery box cover. So I know there's still a lot missing, but I think this thing will turn over. We're getting close. Alright guys, complete mess behind me, and the bike is certainly not finished, but I think it might start. I still don't have an air filter on this thing, but I've got the area around it cleaned up well, so it shouldn't be sucking in any debris. I did not expect to get here today. I literally bought the tools to fab this box today. I didn't think it would be to the point where I'm thinking about firing it up. Alright, it's got coolant, oil, gas. Fuel's mixed 20-1. This is the same gas I was using for the CR500, and the manual for this bike actually says 20 to 30-1, so we'll start it a little rich. Keep that piston lubed, but I'm nervous. Does it want a little throttle? Holy sh**. Yo, dude. 600cc two-stroke. Let's try high idle. It wants a little throttle on startup. Bro!
I expect to hear that thing running.
Let's go!
That's almost like, that sounds like a two-stroke.
That's a two-stroke, baby! Holy cow!
Damn.
Damn is right!
I think idle's a lot different than a 500. It's like a lot
It's
faster.
counterbalance.
Yeah.
Well, I had high idle pulled there, but it doesn't sound like it's gonna vibrate off the
Yeah,
stand. It's
yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
Wow!
That's freaking sick.
Let's go! Throttle cables are definitely a problem. Right here is about the sweet spot. Here or here, the throttle sticks. Still gonna have to resolve that. I never expected first assembly to be, you know, the completed iteration, but we're getting somewhere. I'm gonna keep plucking away. And what do you know? We have a dirt bike. It still needs a few things, including new front brake pads, throttle cable resolution, and an air filter. But damn, this thing is looking fresh. Holy cow, guys. I was up till 3 a.m. last night getting this thing put together, and like I said, I did not expect to start this bike yesterday. There was an immense amount of progress made, and then it all just started coming together. Like I just said, a couple little things that still need to be worked out, but this thing's at least ready for some heat cycles and a cruise around the block.
Oh my god. I can't believe this is Monty's old 450. No way, dude. Oh! I just popped into neutral. Dude, it is silky smooth. We're just going super easy on it right now. Still breaking in, but holy cow. It's so smooth. That is the best way I can describe this thing. 602 stroke. That, man, wow. Dude, this is crazy. It freaking works. This is actually going to be a really fun dirt bike. Like, it just feels like infinite bottom end power. Like, you could rip this thing around in second or third gear all day and just have a ball. A little difficult to shift. This is so sweet. I'm actually really excited to ride this thing on dirt. I know the front forks are going to suck on dirt because they're set up for snow biking, but wow.
Wow. Just wow. So guys, I have 5 days until I leave for a trip to Spain with Nicole. There is still a lot of planning and packing to do, but within those 5 days, I think I can find some time to get this thing on dirt. There are a few things I need to prioritize sourcing, solving, or swapping to get this thing ready to see dirt, but we are this close. What an absolute monster of an engine here that Panthera has developed. It still needs a couple heat cycles, but from that one mellow cruise around the neighborhood, I am so impressed how smooth it is. It is nothing like that raw 500 two-stroke power, and it feels much more like my KTM 300 with just a smooth, balanced engine that doesn't vibrate. I can't wait to properly get on the pipe on this thing, and remember, the plan is to ride this thing on dirt and then convert it to a snow bike for winter. It has been a long, long time in the making, and it is so satisfying to finally hear this thing run. Hope you guys enjoyed, and be on the lookout for a ride video coming soon.